Hi, we're in Namibia. We're gonna be exploring this country for the next 15 days.
And we're currently sharing a car with my parents with 2 tents on top.
Meet Kim's parents. They thought we were meeting them directly in Namibia, but we surprised them at the airport instead. We picked up our rental, spent the night on a farm outside Windhoek, and the next morning drove 4 hours south to Sossusvlei. Right away, we knew this trip was going to be epic.
Alright, look at where we are. This is Little Sossus campsite, which is located 30 minutes away from the gate of Sesriem to access Sossusvlei and Deadvlei. You know, the iconic big dune combo with the petrified trees at the lake kind of thing. And we're gonna be staying here only one night because tomorrow morning we're heading to the park I just mentioned earlier.
The landscapes are absolutely stunning. Honestly, I'm speechless. I didn't think I would be so. I thought it would only be the Death Valley, but every single minute of the drive coming here has been just like, yeah, you have no words. It's just amazing. We have the Big Daddy Dune just next to us.
This is really a bucket list moment for me. I remember when I was a kid, I was obsessed with deserts in Egypt. So Egypt has been checked, and now being able to walk here is just unreal. Now climbing up to the dune, I think this one is called Big Daddy Dune. The hike is no joke, but I'm pretty sure that the view up there is gonna be worth it 1,000 times. Made it on top of the dune. This is not Big Daddy. Big Daddy is over there.
I felt like my heart was coming out of my throat, but I loved it so much we're gonna do the double or triple the amount now. My parents, who are almost 70 years old, are already there, and they kind of shamed us for not wanting to go all the way up. So that's the real reason we're going there.
A river once flooded this clay pan, letting trees grow. Then the dunes cut off the water. The trees died, but the desert air preserved them. They've been standing there for over 1,000 years.
We made it to the top.
The four of us got to the top and just stood there. The landscape was surreal. We couldn't believe what we were witnessing. This morning we woke up in Walvis Bay and we're on the way to Sandwhich Harbour, which is supposed to be an amazing park, national park in Namibia, where you have the dunes meeting the ocean. We found it on Get Your Guide. We're gonna put the link in the description. And so far, only 15 minutes in, it's already looking pretty insane. This is straight out of a movie scene. On one side, we have the dunes, and on the other side, we have the ocean and a bunch of whales, dolphins, and seals eating their morning breakfast.
Putain, incroyable! Oh, elle a sauté! Oh là 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 là, putain!
Oui!
Est-ce que t'es contente?
Oui.
I think the camera doesn't do it justice. Hopefully we've managed to capture a little bit of this incredible place. Just south of Walvis Bay, Sandwhich Harbour is where the Namib's massive dunes plunge straight into the Atlantic. It's hard to explain what I felt standing in front of that. I think Kim said it best in the end.
I don't know if my legs are shaky because I haven't drank enough water or because I'm just so impressed and emotional.
After an incredible morning, we stocked up on groceries and then we drove straight to one of the coolest places in all Namibia.
We just arrived in Spitzkoppe. The fun thing is we were on the road looking at the magnificent mountains that were just by us, and we were saying how beautiful they were. And turns out that the map said, hey guys, you have to go there. That's where you're staying. So we're just outside of the park. We have a very nice place to stay tonight with shower, bathroom, light, and even electricity, which is pretty cool because we haven't been able to charge anything since we've started camping. We just watched the sunset and it was one of the most beautiful moments in our life. And yes, every time in this video I've been saying that it's the most beautiful thing that we've seen. I don't think I'm lying. I'm just saying that there are many beautiful things that we're seeing.
So this is what it looks like inside the tent. Quite spacious, 2 people can fit in very easily, and we spent a great night here, to be honest. It's quite comfortable.
It's just a bit cold sometimes, but I'm always cold.
We took it very slow this morning, and I have a reflection from our trips so far. When we were in Egypt, we were every day waking up so early to go on to the next destination or the next activity. We're doing the same pretty much in Namibia. We're driving 4, 5, 6 hours at a time, and that's why we decided to skip the visit of the Spitzkoppe. Our Kim is drawing again. This is what travel is supposed to be as well, I feel like.
I think we're shifting from this idea that we have to cross every item on a bucket list, because I feel like the moments where we've really absorbed were when we didn't have to rush to any places.
Namibia so far is a 10 out of 10.
Just being on a road for hours, you see so many beautiful things and feel like we're in the Lion King. I really like it.
Speaking about being on the road, we left Spitzkoppe, had lunch in a dry riverbed, and drove straight to our camp in Palmwag. After about a 5-hour drive, we made it to our campsite for the night. We're staying at Palmwag campsite, and it's located in an area where you're supposed to be able to see elephants. Fingers crossed, we're able to see one tonight. Otherwise, we're going to riverbeds tomorrow, so we should have a good chance to see them. Learning from our mistakes from the days before, we've decided to come a bit earlier before sunset so that we can just, take our stuff out and just enjoy the beautiful sunset that we have in the background. Alright, this was supposed to be 2 days in the riverbed of the Hoanib river, and let me tell you, we are in the riverbed. We tried for a solid 1 hour to get unstuck, and it didn't work. It's so muddy, we need someone to come and help us. No one is coming for us. No one is coming for us at the moment. I read a review from, I think 1 month ago, for a campsite around here that said that they spotted some desert lions. This is quite scary, to be honest. And the funny thing about me is that when I get scared or very stressed, I just laugh my ass out and it's just uncontrollable. Hopefully we don't end up being on the news for tourists that were scrambled by elephants or eaten by lions. The level of distress yesterday was insane. We really thought that we would get stuck in the river, but luckily some people came and saved us.
When people came to help us and we saw that the car was not moving, it really got to me. And I think all the adrenaline got stuck in my belly, and I was so scared that last night, even after a warm shower and eating some food, I couldn't sleep, and I was just thinking about, how much it's gonna cost us.
It forced us to then go all the way to a new campsite called Ngongo campsite and take things slower this morning after all the stress. We're gonna enjoy a little waterfall that they have around here until we head back to Palmwag later on.
In addition to the 2 tents on top, we have everything for camping. So we have the table with the chairs. We have everything for storing our food. And then we have everything here for forks, knives, a lot of stuff. We have a nice fridge here where we store all the food that's a bit tricky, you know, with the temperature. And then we also have 2 gas stove here that we can take out for cooking. So it's everything we need, nothing more. And then we store all of our bags here and we take them out in the morning or in the afternoon when we get to our camps.
When it comes to Wi-Fi, we bought this little machine at the airport because our phones don't have a physical SIM compartment. And I think it cost us basically $50. It hasn't been working really well since we've been here, but maybe it's because the overall signal is not such a good quality. So I'm not sure I would recommend, but if you don't have a physical SIM, there's nothing else you can do to get Wi-Fi.
We've packed everything and we're on the way to a place where we should be able to see some elephants, hopefully.
Finally.
It's called the Hoanib River. I'll double check. But we're really excited for that one because we haven't been able to see any elephants so far.
Because we got stuck in the mud.
Yes, so fingers crossed. This time it works and we don't get stuck. Since we weren't able to see elephants on our own the other day, we decided to book a tour. They were able to see them this morning. If the luck is on our side, I think it will be. We'll be able to spot them. Even giraffes, apparently.
Yes, very excited to see them, finally. Apparently the ones from the desert are smaller than the ones that you see in the bigger parks like the Kruger parks or the other ones. And they can live without drinking for 3 to 5 days. Interesting fact.
We're approaching them. This is an experience of a lifetime.
Yes, it's insane to realize that elephants can smell water 12 kilometers away. They have to walk in riverbeds like that are completely dry, and they can smell water. We're back at the camp and I'm going to prepare some pesto pasta for tonight. And today was such an incredible experience seeing those elephants.
From tomorrow we're going to be on the way to the Etosha Park, where we're going to be able to see the bush elephant and so many other animals. So
Giraffes, we want to see giraffes.
we arrived in Etosha, had lunch and headed straight out to explore. We saw zebras, springboks, foxes, but no lions. Before sunset, we made it back to the campsite to check out its waterhole. Turns out wild animals are pretty active at night.
We saw the black rhino, and that was incredible. It's very, very peaceful to see them at night because they're just coming to drink, and people are so respectful. Everyone around was like silent and people were just loving it. Like everyone was a nature lover, and that was a very special moment. So you have to come here.
Now we're gonna rest and hopefully tomorrow we see a lot more animals.
Yeah.
Lions.
Good morning, day 2 of exploring. It was freezing yesterday night and this morning is still quite cold, so we didn't sleep that well, but we're really excited to go out and explore. We're currently in the campsite called Okaukuejo. To access the park, you have to pay a permit fee, which is about $18 per day per person, so the total for us was $280-ish. And then on top of that, you have to reserve a campsite and pay another fee. We made it to a waterhole. Here you have so many antelopes. You can also see some zebras, and we also saw a wildebeest, I think it's called. Apparently, occasionally you might see some lions. If I were a lion, I would be here definitely because it's like an open buffet. We didn't get to see lions that day, but giraffes and more elephants. Heading back to the campsite for the night though, we had no idea what was about to happen. Good morning, today is day 3. We're in Etosha. Yesterday we changed campsite, so we are in the Halali campsite, which is one that is located a little bit further east from the Okaukuejo campsite. It was a great thing that we changed because the waterhole here yesterday was
Insane.
incredible.
And then we saw a family of elephants. They saw that the rhinos were fighting and they got really scared, so they were put in formation. And then when they saw the hyenas as well, so they were protecting the 3 baby elephants. They were so
cute.
That was the most insane thing. One reflection that we had with my dad is that growing up, I was watching documentaries of animals, and this was the same thing. We spent 1.5 hours there.
Yeah, sitting at the waterhole, there were plenty of people, but everyone was silent, and we just got to
So respectful
experience
again.
nature and wildlife the way it should be. It was such an incredible moment, and we're so happy that we're seeing a second night.
Let's cross fingers today that we see a cheetah or something, because so far we've only seen mammals and birds. That's it. So yeah.
As you can see with what I'm wearing now, it's really, really cold again today. Well, it must probably be 12 degrees Celsius. So that's enough for me. I have to say that the Halali campsite is not as nice as the one that we had yesterday at the Okaukuejo one. The facilities are a little bit worn off, but I guess this is the price you have to pay in order to access the water holes late at night and early in the morning. We've been waiting for 50 minutes and we haven't seen anything, so we're gonna head back to the campsite earlier. Then Kim spotted a freaking lion. Then another one.
Yet again, yesterday night we got very lucky. When we arrived at the waterhole next to our camp, we saw one mom rhino with her baby rhino. And then we saw another mom rhino with another baby rhino, and the 2 baby rhinos, they were just kissing and meeting each other, even though they were a bit scared. Then we saw another 2 male rhinos that obviously started fighting because that's what they do. It seems that every night we are very lucky. Best camp ever for the wildlife, not for the camp, I would say, my opinion.
Now we're packing up everything this morning because we're heading to the most eastern campsite, which is the Namutoni camp. We are seeing freaking lions just next to the car. This is incredible. That day turned out to be a pretty good animal bingo day. We saw an oryx, colorful birds, ostriches, elephants, and even fighting elephants.
Oh yeah, le fight, le fight! Oh, fight d'éléphant.
We even had a 12 giraffe gang pull up out of nowhere.
Good morning. When it comes to the site, I would say that this one is definitely one of my favorite ones. The spot is very cool. We have 2 trees. Everything is very neat, very well organized. The only thing is, compared to the first 2 ones, the waterhole at night didn't have any animals. It's really hard to see. You don't look from above, but super comfy otherwise. Look, it's very peaceful. Another thing, never travel when it's me and my parents and Rafa, because we're so loud that people would hate us.
It was amazing camping, but it's going to be so nice to have an apartment later today because we're going to have a proper shower. We're going to be able to do proper laundry. Camping in Namibia has so much dust.
I think we've been dusting around.
We've been dusting around a lot.
I started having dreadlocks in my hair. I had to cut some parts of my hair. We just spent the last 14 hours in a bus, freezing. We have another 3 to 5 hours bus now, depending on how it goes at the border. So I let you guess which country we're going to.